Good morning. Good morning. Friday. Friday, August 25th, you guys. Where have all the flowers gone, huh? Where is the summer? You know, it must be summer. It was summer. Pardon me, I just realized as soon as I looked there that I get smudgies. Smudgies all over my glasses. But hey, here I am, TikTok Live, like I promised, because I'm wicked good at promising. If we haven't met before, sorry, maybe nobody's showing up. I can't really see. TikTok is saying that it's notifying people. There we go. Teresa, nice to see you. We'll kind of see you because my glasses, I need to do this right here. Because, you know, the eyes. Linda, nice to see you. There we go. All right, people are kind of filing in. So welcome. Smiles, everyone. Smiles, huh? Welcome to Fantasy Island, because you tell me your fantasy of decluttering your home, and we make it happy. Good morning, PM 11208. Daily Bird, nice to see you. Nice to see you. I'm hoping that, I'm hoping that me scheduling, putting a little video up that's pinned to the top of my TikTok page helps you know when I'm going to show up, TikTok-wise, as far as TikTok lives go. And here's a kind of a fun thing, is that while today's is the last one I have officially scheduled until like next week, and actually I'm going to pull up my calendar right now. What was I going to say? I may do a pop-up this weekend, okay? So if you have like a project you're working on this weekend, just think of what do you want to get done clutter-wise and otherwise this weekend? You know, here's a wonderful thing, and I'm not showing off. I'm just sharing. What is that? I'm not selling. I'm just telling. Somebody said that recently. It is so cool to have a weekend where you don't have any like chores to do. Like, oh, can't have fun. Got to clean the garage. Can't do what we want to do. Have to do what we have to do. Yes, Irish Pink. It's my Breeze Block necklace. Yes, my friend Minty. Minty's designs, and this is not a thing, but Minty, Palm Springs, California, he and I go way back when I wanted to create a line of Breeze Block jewelry, and he and I got together and did some prototypes, and this is one of them. It never went on the market, but I wanted a little something here. You know, I want to cover the little, you know, the wrinkly schminklies, right? So thank you very much, everybody. I rarely wear necklaces, I got to share. I was talking to actually a coaching client recently just about the jewelry you have. Like, I have so much jewelry. I've got so much jewelry, like, you know, for when I used to work in an office and I used to have outfits and stuff like that. And then you realize, like, nowadays you don't wear that stuff anymore, right? So noticing, as I even said in that most recent video I did, like what you have in your life that worked for a certain era in your life, and now it doesn't. Yeah, so Amber, it's called Breeze Blocks. I love it as like a building thing. It gives that mid-century modern vibe. And also when I coach, I must say when I teach, which is weird. When I coach, I have dubbed my organizing of my daily schedule and how I teach it to my clients as breeze blocking. Because when I got some coaching and I learned the kind of the skill of time blocking, that worked, but it felt very rigid and very kind of almost like a cement block wall. And I want my life to have a little bit of flow and ease and possibility through it, you know? So thank you, Jennifer. I actually, my husband and I have to go to a service shortly after I do coaching today, so I'm kind of dressed for something like that. But thank you. Yes, I would like to think that I clean up nicely when I want to. So Sunflower, hey, nice to see you. Jen Bull, thank you for letting me know I'm so helpful. So here's the smidge. Here's the deal. Here's the story. Morning glory. What's the word? Hummingbird. Have you heard about decluttering your home like a road trip? So I game changed my life when I just asked myself the simple question, the musical question of, I can plan a kick-ass road trip like nobody's business. I've done it for years. I love it. You get excited about where you want to go. You can't wait to do it. And I was like, why can't I plan my life like a road trip? And then finally, I could hear my little hollerings of my heart, as Jen Sincero would say. My little co-pilot inside said, why not? I bet you can. So that changed my life. And I love using the road trip metaphor to help you how to declutter. Because sometimes when you say, oh, my life is whatever, life can be overwhelming. So let's start small and let's start simple. There we go. Oh, road's been bumpy, full of construction crews and detours. Okay, so here, let's riff on this, all right? We're riffing. Is if you are on the road to someplace you are excited to get to, like me, Palm Springs, California, me, the beach, wherever the beach is. I freaking love the beach. You will put up with bumpy roads. You will deal with construction crews and detours, but you will keep an eye on your prize. The detour, remember, a detour is just like a thing away, and then you're still aiming for it. You know, if stuff got too rough and you're like, I'm not going to about to give up when I'm going someplace I'm excited. Now, you know what? When you're not excited to get there, you might use the bumpy road or the detour or the fact that it's taking longer than you want as an excuse, as a reason, which is just an excuse in, sheep's clothing, to give up, to slow down, to stop, to just plant yourself. Who wants to do that? All right. So, yes, getting curious about where you're headed. Start with where you're headed. Oh, I love this. So Melissa, so I am, just for everybody's tuning in, if we haven't met before, my name is Beth. Destination Decluttered. Just remember that. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. YouTube is where the recordings of these TikTok lives are stored, so you can watch them at your leisure when you want a buddy to just chat in the background while you're decluttering. A wicked lot of people have said it's helped them, so that's the only reason I do that. Also, destinationdecluttered.com is my website. Now, I will talk about it now because kind of a fun thing happened yesterday. Was I was able to get some time, and I made room in my schedule next week for some consultations for one-on-one coaching. I do one-on-one coaching with people and for decluttering. And I put that on my calendar. And then I realized also next week when I'm going to show up for TikTok Lives. Now, here's the fun part. The Destination Decluttered mailing list people already know when those things are happening. If anything, I got a flurry of consultation requests from people because they were able to know earlier than y'all. So what I'm saying for you, if you want to get first dibs on finding out when the TikTok lives are going to be, getting a consultation, showing up for knowing about and being invited to a monthly free Zoom call. And also I've done workshops about breeze blocking, about organizing your time so you have time in your life, not just for decluttering, but for stuff you want to do. Right? Okay, there we go. Yay. I'm glad, Catherine, you saw that. That's wonderful. Goblin.tool. Thank you, German Made 95. I'm going to write that one down. Goblin.tool. I will say this, I'm not a big app person. I'm pretty, I just keep things simple as possible. I will check that out. One tool I will share that I use, and I might do a workshop about how I use this is Trello, which is a list making app. I have it on my desktop, like my laptop, and also on my phone. Interesting thing is right after this TikTok Live, I am doing a coaching call with somebody who we did a bit of a Trello, like a tutorial on that. So that is something I'm just kind of playing around with ideas. I like to have fun. Anyhow, I love it. Jen Bullish sorting in the background. Excellent. I bet by the time I sign off at 9:59, you're going to have so much going on. All right, so here we go. I'm going to jump into the questions. So I just want to mention destinationdecluttered.com/join if you want to join the mailing list. You can actually even now see the calendar with consultation dates available if you're interested in doing one-on-one coaching with me. It's a 10-week program. Consultation is always the first step. There should be some times available on my calendar. Anyhow, let's get to you. Enough about me. Melissa is asking for tips on decluttering kids' rooms when they want to keep everything. So here's an interesting thing. Couple things come to mind. One is, do they really want to keep everything? Everything is such a drama-filled word that I'm always playing with the drama-filled words. They want to keep everything. They don't want to give away anything. Nothing is, all those kind of superlatives, I guess, or very dramatic words. What I want to suggest is I bet there's some stuff that they may not want to keep. What I have found in my coaching is, to a certain extent, and, reflect on your own life. Think about this. To a certain extent, the desire to hang on to things is partially a learned behavior. to say, no, I don't want to get rid of that. I can't get rid of that. Holding on to something, grabbing, no, 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 no. As opposed to being like, oh yeah, I'm done with that. That's a baby toy. I don't want to play with my baby toys anymore. I don't fit into my little kid clothes anymore. I'm growing. I want to do different things, right? So just notice that there is an element of learned behavior in keeping stuff. And also, speaking of learned behavior, I really believe that decluttering is a life skill. And it is a life skill that you are never too young to start to learn. Think about it, everybody. If we all learned how to declutter and stay decluttered when we were growing up, I don't know about you, I would be doing something different with the next hour of my life. I would not be on TikTok helping people with clutter. You would be doing something different because you weren't cluttered. It wouldn't be a problem. So just notice that thought, that no matter how old you are, decluttering is a life skill that it is never too late to learn, but the earlier you start, the better. But if you haven't, that's why I do coaching. I'm a Gen Xer. It's like there's this whole generational thing, right? And the reason I call it a life skill is because at the bare bones of it, I love this. Somebody yesterday said, you make things so clear and so simple. I don't like to use jargon. I like to make things so simple to understand that you don't have to translate it in your brain to try to find out what I'm doing. So this is what I mean. Decluttering is a thought process up here in your head about the stuff in your life. And pretty much this is how it goes. You grab an item. You pick it up. Where's an item? I don't know. What's an item? I got my bracelet. Okay. What is this thing? You listen for the answer in your head. Do I want it in my life, in my home? You listen for in your head and in your heart. Do I want this? If the answer is yes, I want to keep it, then the next question is, okay, cool. No big deal. Where do you want to put it? Where do you want it to live so it's easy for you to get, to use, and put away again so you stay decluttered? You answer that yourself. If you don't want to keep it, again, no big deal. This is your life. You get to decide. You're the one who decides. You say, okay, I don't want it. What's the easiest way of getting it out of my life? That is such a life skill. Asking yourself what's important to you at a certain time, and the stuff that was important to you even a few years ago may not be as important to you now. Okay? So just get curious. Bring your kids into it. Have them participate in it. Get them used to, this is how it goes. This is the making of the decisions. And, there's not enough room to put away your clothes because you have too many clothes. What clothes are you going to fit into next year? What clothes can we give away to somebody who has no clothes at all? Just get them into it. All right, Melissa? I hope that helps. I'm pretty sure it will. All right. Nicole is saying, OMG, my house is so cluttered. I just don't know how to organize. Okay, Nicole. So notice the OMG, so cluttered, a little bit of the drama words. That's cool because that's overwhelm and we can deal with overwhelm. Overwhelm is just being stuck because you don't know what to do. And you even said, I don't know how to organize. It's a skill. You can learn it. I teach it. It's wicked easy. It matches up with some of the stuff your brain likes to do. Your brain prefers order to chaos. Your brain prefers matching up items. If somebody ever said, like, look for something red in a room, you didn't notice it before, but suddenly you pick out all these things. Your brain likes to pattern match. So you can learn this. And what I will say, as far as my whole house is disorganized, chunk it down. Overwhelm. I'm going to sound like a broken record to the people who show up all the time, but it bears repeating. Now I feel like I'm riffing on, like, who is it? Jack White or something like that. That overwhelm, the word over. Think of it over your head, but grab onto it and say, no, you're not the boss of me, overwhelm. You're keeping me stuck. I want to get going. I want to drive I want to be at this destination. I just want my house to look good. You know how you do that? You go from over and then you pull it down. And as I like to say, all the downs. Okay. So you think overwhelm, you say, stop, wait. If I'm feeling overwhelmed, the antidote to that, the flip side of that is down. What do I mean by down? Calm down. Calm down your physical human body by breathing down into your lungs. Slowing down how you speak, how you think, even if your brain is going, shh. Calm down. It's cool. Slowing down, breathing down, calming down, dumping down the thoughts in your head, writing them down So you get them out of your head to see what's, what's going on, and then chunking it down. Chunking it down is once you see what you want to do is say, how do I get started? I start small as opposed to being stuck. Okay. So it's a process. Notice that even just gets, I bet if we all, did everybody take a nice deep breath when I did? I know I did. It feels better. It just helps your brain get oxygen to it as opposed to the hyperventilating thing that makes you make, not such great decisions. All right. There we go. What else do we have here? Woo! What did it do? Oh, there we go. Connie is saying, I absolutely love Trello because it's so visual. Yeah, you know what? I love Trello too because I love moving around. It's just very, you can move things from one thing to another. You can pop it up and down. I just dig it. So, I'm glad you're digging my videos. Hardest thing for me is paper. Paper, it jams up a lot of people. Paper jam, get it? Wow. Okay. Just get curious about the paper you have, and I will offer to you, again, think of a lot of this stuff. Here's a funny thing. A lot of the stuff you have in your home is maybe stuff you don't need anymore right now that was important back then, may not be as important now. And that's why it's so important for you to realize it's all about you, what you want to save, what you want to get rid of. But just check yourself before you wreck yourself. Check in with yourself to say, I used to use this. I've saved this. I'm in the habit of saving this. But do I really need to save it? The paper you have. I bet the paper you have is, maybe it is the hardest thing because there's so much of it. Maybe it's all kind of mixed up. Remember I said your brain likes to create order out of chaos? Categorizing. Getting the stuff, getting your paperwork and putting it into different piles of categories. Here's bills that I have paid from 2023. Here are bills that I've paid for pre-2023. Here are bills that I need to pay. Here are the category I like to think of as, here are some important papers that look important, but I'm probably not going to read, but just in case I should probably save them. Right? We get them all the time. Those updates to like your health insurance, or here's the stuff about your credit cards and whatever. You're like, I should probably read that. I'm not going to right now, but I'm going to file it. Notice what is the hardest thing. Get curious about what about the paper makes it feel hard to you to get started and to organize it. And then get curious, because here's the situation we are all in. I think this is why decluttering coaching right now is such an important thing, is that we are in a different era of our lives, personally, our ages, but also in society, where we went from a previously paper-based only society to now we are a hybrid. We are like some paper and some digital, and everybody's percentages are different, right? So just notice what you have that's digital, what you have that's paper. Can you switch more things to digital? Again, these decisions are up to you. I have what works for me, and it may not work for you, but you finding a system, we working together to find a system that works for you and your brain and your comfort level and your results that you want. That's what one-on-one coaching really helps with. There we go. Okay, yep. See, Catherine even said that one drives me nuts. Break time bonzos, please speak to paperwork. Okay, here's the thing about paperwork too. Think about this, everybody. All right. What I want to offer is paperwork. Papers you get nowadays, for the most part, think about this. If you lost those papers, they burned down or whatever, papers you get now are typically a paper version of something that already exists digitally somewhere else. So for example, I still get my credit card statements on paper in the mail. Ironically, we pay our stuff online, but I am in the habit of getting them, and I like to see them when they come in, and I look through and make sure everything looks good and whatever. So that works for me. But if I didn't get them, I could do that exact same process online. I could even download it from there if I wanted to. But I have a system that works for me it does not take too much time because it's such a habit. I've reviewed it and said, no, I still like to do it this way. I've checked with myself to say, is what I did before still relevant? And the answer is yes. Okay. So notice that. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So just notice that about it. So can some of the paper clutter be digitized? Sure. If you want to. I have to be honest with you guys. Two things about paperwork that bore me to tears is shredding and scanning. I would so much rather do more fun things with my time. So I say, how can I avoid this? Right? So again, think of the stuff that you want to digitize. Maybe it's digitized already. Okay, digital clutter, Virgo, Kathy, Joe. Digital clutter is a different thing. I will offer that. Digital clutter, my digital clutter is a lot more disorganized than my in real life clutter, and that's because there's different ways that we can find things digitally. Control F is your BFF, right? Your BF Control F, right? So just notice that if you're able to easily find things, right? Okay, aren't there inexpensive shredder services out there? Actually, I will suggest this. So where I live, we've got Staples. I think Staples occasionally does something like that. But the other thing is too is get curious. Curiosity is going to open up the world to you. Get curious and look around in your community. I say that because our community, there's like a insurance company that has the occasional free shredding event. There's like something that goes on where you like recycle. Look for free local shredding events. And then what I do is the stuff that I want to shred, I just put in a paper bag and I keep that bag in the back of a closet and I wait for one of those events to happen. You know, so look at it. All right, there we go. All right, good AM and happy Friday to you. Allie from Cali, I love it. Thank you for following me on here on TikTok. Yeah, if you haven't followed me on TikTok, could you? Would you? Won't you be my neighbor? It's kind of easy. And the cool thing is about that, kind of like the Destination Decluttered email mailing list, is when you follow me here, you will be notified when I do TikTok lives. Now, I always notify you by doing a schedule and pinning it to the top of my page, kind of above all the videos that I post. But also, occasionally, I will just do a pop-up one when I feel like it, blah, 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 right? So you would know about that if you follow me here on TikTok. So that's cool. All right. All right, here we go. Some other good stuff. Okay. Odd DOCFL, making space for the stuff that I clear from the surface creates yet another project. Okay, overwhelming. Notice you said overwhelming. We got you. You have a tool. I just gave you the solution to that, but I will repeat it because maybe you didn't tune in. And repetition, doing the good thing over and over again is part of the process. When you feel overwhelmed, you're kind of looking at things too big above you, the world. Oh my gosh, too overwhelming. I'm looking at the whole project, my whole house, my whole life. That gets you stuck, right? You don't even start. Chunk it down, breathe down, calm down, write it down, chunk it down. Okay. What do I mean by that? Yeah, you'll notice that making stuff for stuff that I clear from the surfaces creates another project because there are 3 levels of clutter. And I get that. Somebody else said, how, Kate B is asking how to emotionally detach from the clutter that keeps us stuck. Great question. I'll answer with both of these. Okay. What I want to suggest is the way I coach, I think of clutter in 3 categories. You've got your surface clutter, you've got your stored clutter, and you have your sentimental clutter. So really quickly, because I have some videos about this on my TikTok page, so it goes into more detail. But surface clutter is just the stuff that's on any of your horizontal surfaces that basically is there temporarily because it's not where it lives, right? It shouldn't be there, but it is right now. So this is the stuff that, like, when I'm doing this TikTok live, or you could easily work on your surface clutter while you listen to me. So I don't know, why don't you do that? Put me on speakerphone, get on some earbuds, get some steps in, stand up as opposed to sitting down. This is the stuff that just isn't where it's supposed to be. Trash in the trash, recycles in the recycles, dirty dishes in the sink, dirty dishes from the sink into the dishwasher, clean dishes from the dishwasher into the cupboard, all these things. Look at your horizontal surfaces, as I am doing right now, and say what is here that doesn't, one of these things doesn't belong here. Maybe many of these things don't belong here. Am I right? And put the stuff back where it belongs. Now, here's the funny thing. Notice that there's also stored clutter. So if you say, well, it's on the surface because I don't have any place to store it because my stored clutter is full, that's a different process. That is, you got to get curious. You got to, you have to see what is taking up space and ask yourself, do I want this now or not? And then if I do, where am I going to store it? Okay. And then the last one is the, emotionally detached from clutter. Emotional clutter, surface, stored, sentimental, and sometimes things slide between worlds, excuse me. Sentimental clutter is the stuff that has emotion attached to it. Sentimental clutter is the stuff that tells you a story. Sentimental clutter isn't just a pitcher that you pour water out of. It's the pitcher that your grandmother used to make canned orange juice from and strain it because your dad didn't like pulp. And when we came over, she would pour from this cute little pitcher, right? It's not just the thing you bought at Home Goods, because it was on sale. Knowing the stories you have about things, I will offer this. First of all, you guys, life is so short. Life is so short. Do not surround yourself with stuff that tells you bad stories. Why do you want something in your home, in your life? Why would you allow something in your home that makes you feel guilty, that makes you feel heavy, that makes you feel crappy? Get that stuff out of there. Lighten your load. Up the vibe of your house. The other thing is that the sentimental stuff is going to take the most energy and the most time. So start with the easy stuff first. Make your home look good. You're going to need to create spaces. You're going to need to create, the reason I do them in this order, and even when we're doing a road trip, surface, stored, sentimental, is because in order to go through your stored stuff, you need a surface to actually dump it out and sort it out, right? Sentimental, the sorting of the surface and the stored allows you to practice asking yourself on a very easy level, what is this thing? Do I want it? If I want it, where does it go or not? Right? You're building your decision-making muscle. And the more you decide about what you want in your life and you don't, you are clarifying the picture, the destination. And then you can ask yourself, do I want these sentimental items? And the answer can be no. All right? All right. And where do we go? Okay. Yep. Feel guilty getting rid of my grandma's chair. Okay. Notice this, Sand Fox. Notice it's not even your voice in your head. You are hearing your dad's voice. You know why? That's because he had, I don't say issues, but there is a struggle about, why would you get rid of things? I think people have the mistaken identity. Sorry, my nose is itchy. Some folks think that if I don't want it in my home, the very next place it goes is in a landfill. Like it goes from A to Z immediately. There are so many different places that you can get things out of your home that could actually even be wonderful. If you don't want it, that poor chair is bummed out because it knows it's not wanted. But there's a home out there for somebody who wants your grandpa's chair, right? Notice that, and notice, this is me, and this is where I get really like I am a Leo, and I get really protective of my people. Okay. And I'm here for you. Okay. I am here for you whether you are a one-on-one client, whether you're on my mailing list, just because you showed up today, I am your champion. I am your co-pilot. I want to help you get to where you want your life to be. So your dad doesn't want that chair. Fine. He doesn't have to have it. You also do not need to hang on to it unless you want to. Okay. It's your life. Just because you don't keep the stuff doesn't mean you didn't love the person. Okay. Yeah. And it's true. I mean, it's like being in a relationship. Who wants to be in a relationship where somebody looks at you and goes, oh, I don't want you. I don't want you. You make me feel bad. Somebody else out there it could be the best thing, right? I love it. Amber is saying, I'm working through my work to-do list because I'm out at 12 today. Woohoo! Keeping me on track. Love it. Love the getting out at noon. What else do I have? Okay, let me back it up a little bit. Let me back it up here. Virgo, okay, I ended up with so many duplicates everywhere. So many everywhere. Okay. Yeah. Notice the words, the drama words. Okay. Here's where I get a little bit life coachy because this is how I coach. I am a certified life coach, but I coach clutter because I freaking love seeing the difference between the before and afters. And it is such a great way to learn how to make decisions for yourself. You will have a thought in your head that makes you feel a certain way, and you feel a certain way, you do a certain thing. I like alliteration, destination decluttered, surface stored sentimental, and I think head, then heart, and then hands, because you do things with your hands. You either keep it or you can let it go. So just notice how your thoughts of I can't, it's too hard, overwhelm, gets you stuck, makes you feel lousy. And then you stay stuck. You don't do something. You cling on to stuff. You don't change your habits. On the other hand, but this is the wonderful thing, coaching gives you that opportunity to realize there's something else you can think that makes you feel better. And when you feel better, you do better. Okay? Just notice that. I love this. Farm Girl 11 just said, or you can burn it. I am not kidding. A friend of mine, actually, we used to work together years ago, and she still follows me here. You know, like you stay in touch on what do you call it, social media. She said she recently had a bonfire and she burned a lot of like her sentimental items that, cards and notes from like junior high and stuff like that. And I said to her, that's my plan too. I'll be honest with you. I save a lot of paper sentimental stuff from my life. However, I have a process for it. It's in a little box right there. Every year I start a little box. When the year is over, I take the box, I put it downstairs on a shelf, and I start a new one. And someday I really look forward to going through that stuff. I'm too young for it right now. Like, I'm still living a life. I look forward to going through the sentimental stuff to remind myself of what a kick-ass life I had. And then once I do it, that stuff doesn't matter to anybody else. I mean, I'd love to kind of show off to my nieces and nephews. And probably by the time I do this, I might have grandnieces and grandnephews. Who knows? I want to show them what a kick-ass life I had. But they don't need to keep that stuff. I will then throw it in the fire. That's how I'm going to deal with it. Just thought I'd riff on that because that might help you too. Okay. All right. What do we got here? Okay. A whole bunch of things. There we go. Laura Gibbons Voorhees says, I am doing little declutter projects, keeping it small and doable. Keeping it small, a little bit at a time. Here's the thing. This is the thing that keeps a lot of people stuck. Overwhelm, all or nothing, perfectionism. If I can't do it all, I'm not going to do any of it. I'm going to wait till I have a large amount of time until I do it. That's like that's postponing like joy, right? Because you're not going to wait. So you're waiting, living in clutter. If you do a little bit at a time, that's the only way anything ever gets done, right? So I love that you're doing that. Okay. Notice decluttering area is taking longer than expected. Yeah. Our brain does not really have a great idea about the amount of time something may take, but you know what? You're making progress. PM 11208. It's weighing me down physically and emotionally. Okay. Here's what I want to suggest to you to keep on going. And I apologize. I keep on here. Let me see if I get some tea. It will stop me from picking my nose, right? Think about this. Reward yourself for the work you have done. Every little bit. Give yourself like a Liz Lemon, like a Tina Fey, self high five. Okay. Set your timer for when you're decluttering. And when the timer goes off and you've decluttered, congratulate yourself for that. Okay. If things look back, take a picture of what it looks like before you start. 20 minutes later, whatever, take another picture. It looks better. High five yourself, okay? Notice that. And just notice that a journey is going to take a long time. Now, the cool thing is, it probably took you a while, years maybe, to accumulate this clutter. And you are also not probably in the best condition to be, you are getting in shape in clutter-wise while you're doing it. So just notice that it took you years to get there. What made you think you just made a mistake? That's all. You just underestimated the amount of time you hoped it was going to take less time, right? That's okay. Happens all the time. The brain is great for problem solving and creativity. Not so good with like the tactical things about how long something might take. No big deal. It's going to take you longer than you thought, but you're on your way. And think about the things that are weighing you down physically and emotionally and deal with those ones. I don't say deal with those ones first, but notice some easy things you can do to make yourself feel better about the process so you don't give up. If this was a road trip from like the East Coast to the West Coast, I don't know where everybody lives, but like don't just give up in Kentucky or Montana or excuse me, Missouri or Kansas, right? Keep on going till you get to where you want to go. All right? Mother-in-law just passed away, says Christina, cleaning out her house is bringing up so many of these issues. Yeah. And you know what? Here's the deal, y'all. Let's not be those people. Let's be the people who said, you know what? 2023, I realized I don't want to leave this burden to somebody else. 2023 was, I don't want to be saving all this stuff and piling it up. Mother-in-laws, people of a parent generation, at least from my age, are people that were directly affected by the Great Depression of the 20s and 30s, 1920s and 30s, because oh my gosh, we're in the 2020s, which is crazy. They were directly affected by that. notice that they had issues, they had thoughts and feelings about hanging on to stuff, right? And also shopping, like you spend money, you buy, you have you have a job, or somebody has a job and you show off that you have a job with money by buying stuff, or you alleviate your boredom by going out and buying things. Just notice those things. The more aware we all can be about these things, we can change those habits in ourselves so we feel better, and also we don't pass down that unhelpful stuff to other generations. Okay. All right. All right. So Michelle Davis, welcome. Hi, today's my first day here. Welcome. Actually, here's a nice time for me to reintroduce myself, since there might be some other new folks. My name is Beth, but I would much rather you remember Destination Decluttered. Now, I'm here on TikTok. I have a YouTube channel where I upload the recorded TikTok lives here. So if you want to listen to this from the beginning, you can always do that, especially when I'm not doing a TikTok live. I have a website called destinationdecluttered.com. I tell you about that because there's a mailing list, a free email mailing list you can hop onto, where you get invited to all sorts of like free workshops and monthly Zoom. You also get heads up as to when I'm doing like one-on-one coaching, consultations, things like that. destinationdecluttered.com/join. Also, if you are interested, I do one-on-one coaching, right? You and me via Zoom, 10-week package. 10 weeks from now is almost before, what do you call it? Like Halloween, just letting you know, kind of whatever. Getting some help that's just all about you, where you are, where you want to go. What are the things jamming you up? It's like having a personal trainer as opposed to just going to like, a gym class, with a whole bunch of people. Okay. So Michelle, that's what I do. And how do you begin to declutter? I will say this to you and to everybody. Start with the end in mind. Start with what you're aiming for. Why are you doing it? What do you want your home to look like? Write that down. This is always me in coaching. Somebody will say something. I'm like, oh, that's good. Write that down. Write that down. Get it out of your head and onto paper so you can look at it, so you know what you're aiming for. How do you want to feel when you are in your home? Write that down too. If you don't know how you want to feel, think of how you feel now. I feel overwhelmed. I feel heavy. I feel discouraged. What's the opposite of that? I feel in control. I feel lighter. I feel encouraged, right? Write all the good stuff down. And then how do I want my home to function? Now, I've added this to my repertoire because I realize that the functionality of your house is really the good thing about when you want to take the least amount of time to get the stuff done you have to do, so you can spend the most amount of time in your life doing the things you want to do. That's how I coach. Okay. So write down those things, get a vision in your mind. I have it's so funny. You know how people do vision boards? Create a vision board in your head, write it down. What are the things that make it real? I never made a vision board, but I made vision books back in the day before. Definitely. It was pre-digital. Like you wouldn't believe. I'm going to pull one out now because I put it here. And it's like, these are the things, these are the things I want in my life. Oh, that looks cool. It's like, that's a neat thing. I want a house to look like that, whatever. See, I mean, all this stuff, to give you an idea of what you want, and then you know what you're aiming for. And then you say to yourself, oh, sorry, one of these snuck out. You say to yourself, all right, so that's where I'm headed. What can I do today to get closer to it? Not to get there, but to start. And I always suggest starting with your surface clutter. What's the stuff that is just looking visually cluttering? It just needs to be put away. Then you go to your stored clutter, and then you deal with your sentimental clutter. There we go. Lori says, my shredder overheats after a couple of minutes, so papers go in a brown bag. When filled, goes in the fire pit. I love it. Find that. All right, so what do we have? Yeah, after Cheesehead just said, after I retired, I found I could get rid of about half my closet. Yes, notice, everybody, this is how I look at life. We have chapters in our lives. Our lives are a book, and we have chapters in our lives. We have, this is when I was growing up. This is in my teens. This is when I was in my 20s. This is when I had that job. This is pre-COVID. This is COVID. This is post-COVID. You have different things that happen. This is when I was working. This is now when I'm retired. This is pre-menopause. This is post-menopause. All this stuff is different chapters of your life, and different things are important to you at different times, and noticing on that. Okay. Oh, thank you. So you know what? I will let, what's my friend's, Minty know that people are liking my necklace, and maybe he'll make some. Okay. But just notice that you're in chapters of your life, and just catch up with making sure just the stuff that you have in your home matches who you are now and who you want to be. It may have matched back then, but you are changing. Hopefully you're always evolving into the best version of yourself before you leave this mortal coil, as I like to say. So catch up in the stuff that worked for you back then, thank it, and then send it on its merry way so it can help somebody else if you're not using it anymore. Okay? Kayleigh is saying, you have been helping me change my life. Thank you. You're welcome. I am so glad. It is worth it. And trust me, here's the thing I want to share. I have not always been like this. Oh my God, I have friends since I was 4 years old, my family. So many people will tell you that it has only been in the recent years that I've dared to look at my life and question what wasn't working and then be brave enough to do something about it versus living a life of fear and desperation and I can't, and whatever. The times in my life where I have stood up and wanted to do something and did it have been the game changers. And so I show up right now because I want to help you do that because it made such a difference for me. I want to help you. So just saying that. All right. Amanda is saying, I struggle with getting rid of clothing because I think about how much I spent on it. Notice that. Like I said before, you've got a thought in your head that makes you feel a certain way in your heart and you do a certain thing with your hand. So you have a thought. I spent a lot of money on that clothes. I don't want to get rid of it because I spent a lot of money. That makes you feel, ooh, like this is not good because I spent money. Why would I just give it away? Makes you cling on to it, right? But you kind of want to, right, Amanda? You wouldn't be, you would say, no, I'm not wearing that clothing. Changing your thought will change your life. Changing your thoughts change your life. I know that could be like embroidered on a pillow or something. But seriously, if a thought is keeping you stuck, you could create another thought that gets you going. The thought that keeps you going. What is that? Store 24 or something? 7-Eleven? Anyhow, think about it. The opposite thought. You say, okay, yeah, I spent a lot of money on it, but you know what? Hanging on to it, I'm not going to make my money back. Now you could say, well, I could sell that stuff. Sure, go for it. Sell it. Do what you want, but just notice if you want your closet to not be cluttered with stuff you're not wearing, the easiest way to do it is just to donate it. But you do you. But notice that what you have is giving you some friction. Okay, there we go. See, Cynthia KY is already saying, consider consignment or selling on marketplace. You know, the other one with clothing, and Jan is saying it right now. I always think I will lose the weight to fit back into clothes. Ugh, we all do. I've got stuff in my closet. You know, you're not alone in that, Jan. Okay, here's how I like to approach that. If you think about it, you weighing a different weight than you do now is kind of an aspiration. That's you. That's a destination you kind of have in your head. I want to be of that size so I fit back in those clothes again. Right? That being said, allow yourself the opportunity to become that person. Give yourself a chance. Do the things that would need to be done to change the size of your body. But in the meantime, while you're doing that, it doesn't make sense to have the clothing that doesn't fit in circulation. Remember I talked about your home looking and feeling a certain way, but also functioning. When you have stuff that's getting in the way of the clothes you wear all the time, that just makes it more difficult for you to get dressed, to do laundry, to put things away. So how about this? This is what I recommend, is take all the stuff, sort out your clothes and pull everything out that doesn't fit, that's currently of a size range that you just need to lose whatever or gain, whatever thing is. Put that stuff away in a tote, in a plastic tote, a clear plastic tote, put a piece of painter's tape on the top, say, put away in August of 2023, size X, and then check in with yourself on 6 months. Put it out in storage. You know where it is. And then give yourself the opportunity. Change your habits to change your body. And in 6 months, when you go to check in on yourself, it's like, did I change my weight? Nope. Okay, maybe then I don't need those clothes anymore. Maybe I've gotten realizing that this is the new set point weight because I am postmenopausal and this is the activity I do and these are the things I eat and it's just working differently than it has. I'm speaking from firsthand experience. I'm not speaking about you. But I say, okay, you know what? I may not fit into that stuff again. That's okay. Here's a wonderful thing. And that's okay. Write that down. This blah, 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 and that's okay. Just think about it. You're okay the way you are. Okay? I love this. Talisa says, I finally see the light at the end of the tunnel in one room because I declutter every time you're on. I love it. Thank you. I'm so glad to help you. Okay. Yeah, there's all sorts of good stuff here. Yep. Price divided by how many times you wear it equals the actual use cost. CC Fitzhenry, I do the same thing. I do. It's like, okay, every time I wear that, the price per wear becomes cheaper, you know? So I try to do that myself. And there we go. Somebody says, like, I did too after 20 years. I took my entire closet to Goodwill so I could buy new. I am free. There we go. All right. Here's a great thing. Well, not a great thing. Chastity Boggs 963. I'm so sorry that you have stage 4 cancer and 3 teenagers. I can't seem to get very far. I have no energy. How about those 3 teenagers? Those 3 teenagers should be helping you. This is how I coach. It shouldn't fall to the woman in the household. It shouldn't fall to one person in the household. And typically it's the woman. And it is unfair that if you are struggling with cancer, I am hoping they are helping you. They need to help more because here's the thing. Decluttering is a life skill. They do it now when they're teens. By the time they're 20 and they're out on their own and they are living alone or with a roommate or a partner or a mate or whatever, they are going to be better people in the world for being able to pick up after themselves, for being able to make a decision about this is too much stuff, this is not enough. Okay, there we go. So you got this. All right. Okay. Boop. Whole bunch of stuff. Oh, there we go. Tamra Ava says, thanks for the info. I start with getting rid of 25 things a week. It helps me. Find what works for you. Find what works for you and do it. So yeah, 25 things a week. If that works for you, rock on with your bad self. Do it. Okay? And find a routine. What can you do so today's Friday. What can you do this weekend to reduce the amount of stuff that you don't want in your home anymore? You could have a garage sale. You could throw things out onto your front stoop and say free. I'm going to do that. We have a table we don't want. I don't feel like taking it to the Goodwill. I'm going to put it out there with a free sign and hope somebody takes it. I could donate things to the Goodwill. I could donate them anywhere. I could sell some stuff on eBay. What can you do this week, today, tomorrow, Sunday, plus, to reduce the amount of items that you have in your house that you don't want anymore? You know, just start it. And the starting is made easier when you love where you're headed. If I'm out in my car and in my driveway and I'm heading towards a root canal, I'm going to be dragging my feet. I'm going to be like, oh, I don't want to go. That's when you know you're an adult, when you take yourself to things you don't want to do, but you do anyway. Okay. Versus I'm going to the beach. I can't wait to jump in the car and drive down the beach, even though it's going to take a long time because I'm excited about where I'm going. Think about how you want your home to look, and that every time you declutter, you're getting closer to that, like a destination, you know? Yep. Yeah, I can imagine, Chastity, it can be work to stay on top of them, but I will say this, and I know you're struggling with your cancer and stuff like that, but that's parenting, and I'm not a parent. I know it's not easy, but it's worth it. Think about, and this is going to sound gruesome, but if you are no longer in their lives, you want to set them up to be really good human beings. And you can even say that to them, you know? There we go. Yep. Somebody is saying never Goodwill for me. I love local charities. I do too. I tend to use Goodwill as like the default brand name of donating. We have a bunch of charities in our place, but you do you. Find a place you feel good about donating stuff. It will make it easier for you to donate, you know? Jenny Timmerman is asking me, do you have a suggestion for cardboard boxes? Yeah, break them down and recycle them. You know, or put stuff you're donating it into the boxes and go donate it. We have a plethora. Notice how our lives have changed since COVID and especially since Amazon and all this like shipment. We have an increase in boxes and shipping supplies in our homes that we never had before. And how do you want to, how much of that do you want in your home, if any? Are you saving it because I might mail something someday? Okay, what do you think you might mail? Save a box for that size. And know that, here's a good thing too, even if you get rid of all of those boxes, you recycle them, you do something with them and you have none, if you need to mail something, you know you can go get a box somewhere, right? Just think about that. All right, I'm keeping an eye on the time because I hop right into coaching and then I'm going, we have to go to a service. So I just want to reintroduce myself. Beth, Destination Decluttered. I do one-on-one coaching. I sign up. I do these TikTok lives. I would love it if you would like my TikTok page. Maybe spread the word. Do you know somebody who is struggling with clutter that you think what I am doing and how I'm saying it might help them? Let them know about me. Now, if they aren't on TikTok, I love TikTok. I have such a good time here. If they're not on TikTok, that's okay. I show up and post my videos, not the lives, but I post videos on Facebook, Destination Decluttered, on Instagram, Destination Decluttered, and on YouTube, Destination Decluttered. What I do is I download the recordings of these lives and upload them there. I do that because one of my followers here suggested that it really helped her to listen to me chatting around in the background as she decluttered. It was kind of like having a buddy system. My ADHD folks will know, like that whole body doubling. So that's where people can meet me. Also, destinationdecluttered.com. That's where you sign up for the mailing list. That's where you find out about all the cool free stuff. Those of you on the list, you know, because I sent it out yesterday and a bunch of you signed up for consultations. And you also know next week when I'm going to be doing a TikTok live, even though I haven't made the video yet. It's a free thing. I just offer it because if TikTok ever goes away, it's still a way for us to get in touch. Okay. Just notice. Okay. Jen is saying, I need this because of my dementia. So thank you for sharing. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm here to help you. Okay. And I love the fact that I am here to help you. But then look at all the help that's bouncing up between people who don't even know each other in the comments here. You know, they're offering advice. You've got it. Even when you're struggling, you have something to offer the world. Okay. There you go. You are great, but I can't seem to get motivated. Queen Bright Eyes, I would ask you to sit down with a notebook and just say, why aren't you motivated? What is the thought in your head that's keeping you stuck, that's keeping you feeling unmotivated? Maybe you're not motivated because you're not excited about where you're going. Maybe you're unmotivated because you think it's going to be hard to get there, or it's going to take too long, or it's not worth it. All those unhelpful thoughts and feelings will keep you stuck. You deserve it. You deserve to take the time to figure this out. I can't figure it out for you. I don't come to your house. I can't get in your head. I cannot. It's like, okay, so here's where I riff about us being on a road trip together. You are always the one behind the steering wheel, steering your life. You can steer it towards the life you want. You can steer it away. You can step on the gas. You can step on the brakes. You can not move. You can speed forward. You can get there and enjoy it. Or you can putter along and detour and all this. It's totally up to you. In this scenario, I am your co-pilot. I'm the person in the passenger seat. I've got the map. I'm cheering you on. I've got the snacks. I make it fun. I show up. I encourage, but I can never sit there and turn on the key and get it into gear. Only you can do that. And I really I'm so sincere when I say this. You are worth the time to figure that out. I avoided it for years. I ran away from my scary thoughts. When I turned around, I realized they were really some simple things that once I faced them, I was like, oh, is that what's keeping me stuck, is just fear of somebody laughing at me? All right, I'm going to try it anyway. And now here I am on TikTok, showing up all the time, right? You deserve it. Okay, notice myself and I, you have a thought. You have a thought. My hubby and daughter are working against me. Just notice that thought is making you feel lousy and I'm not motivated. How about you work on your own stuff? You lead by example. You pick up your own stuff and, have a good feeling about it. You get excited about it. You show up in a different energy versus being the victim of your daughter and, husband. All right. Notice your thoughts. This is where it starts. It's not about how do I fold my, underwear. It's about what's the thought that gets me going? What's the thought that keeps me stuck? Okay. Chastity, do you have a recommended starter system? Yeah. You know what? So here's where I am. I just like to keep things simple. Why? I don't want to make things more difficult. I say this, start with writing down the stuff that you want your home to look like. I want it to be neat and clean and organized. I want everything in its place. When I walk into a room, I want to say, not ugh. I want to feel light and airy. I want it to smell good. I want to be able to walk across the floor without tripping over something. Write all those things down to know where you're headed. And then say to yourself, Chastity, what could I do for a little bit today to get it done? And then you repeat it and repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. That's how you get started. And everybody, we all have to go from stuck to started every single morning of our lives. We go from laying down in bed to standing up and moving around. That getting up, as you know, sometimes can be the most arduous thing. But once you get moving, it's easier. So find a way that gets you moving, that gets you motivated, that gets you from stuck to started. And that's what my goal is for these TikTok lives, as well as honestly showing people that this is how I coach. And so if you want to be one of my clients, we can make that happen. Virgo Kathy, right. Objects in motion tend to stay in motion. It's like science, people. Okay. There we go. Gifts by Nanny. It says, watch 2 episodes of Hoarders. Gets me going. Love the end results. Yeah. You got this. You can do this. You can do this, and you are worth doing it for. Even nobody else in your house, I'm here for you. I am here for you. You be here for you. You will feel better when you do something to make your life better. Check me out. I did something. I showed up for 20 minutes today and I worked on surface clutter, and even just that little smidge of an area makes me feel better. There we go. I love it. User 92 something blue. I started with a visible location bookcase so I could see my progress to keep me focused. I love it. Okay. So just notice that. All right. So what else can I tell you? I've only got a few minutes left and I'm going to jump into coaching. Yeah, I will be doing TikTok lives next week. I have them written down. I will do a video. I will post it. If you're on the Destination Decluttered email mailing list, you already know when they will be. So I will be showing up for them. I might pop over this weekend to do a TikTok live just spontaneously. I might not. I don't know. This is how I roll. And what I offer to you is, even when I don't show up, what I would say to you is just say to yourself, what do I want my home to look like? And what can I do today to get closer to that? It's like a road trip. Okay. I'm glad to know that you appreciate getting the dates on the emails. I will do that more often. Okay. I love it. Dragons girl, Macon, Georgia, rock on. Have a great weekend. I'm going to have a great weekend. I hope you do too. Miss Goody Two Shoes, you're welcome. Ms. Prentice, like this, share this with people that you think are struggling with clutter. There's a bunch of us out here. Let's make it better for us. And also let's break these unhelpful habits so that we don't bring it down to the next generation. Okay. Where can we listen to you when you're not on? Gifts by Nanny, the Destination Decluttered YouTube page, Destination Decluttered. If you go there, there is an entire, what do you call that? Like a playlist of TikTok lives. Okay. So I am caught up today. I'm going to download this one. There we go. All right. Sort of clutter. Okay. So tell me one more time. Okay. You've got surface clutter. You've got stored clutter, and you've got sentimental. Okay, there we go. Yes, the link in my bio goes right to a page on my website that just has the links to signing up for my mailing list, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. It's like a one-stop shop there. Okay, so if you just go there, head there to join. Excellent. All right, you guys, it's the weekend almost. Have a good time. You deserve to drive towards a life you love, okay? Isn't that what I wrote myself on here? Listen to your co-pilot. I'm your co-pilot, not your backseat drivers that want to keep you stuck. And drive your life in the direction of your dreams, okay? I will see you next week. I will put a video up at some point about when I'm going to be around. And you got this, all right? I'll see you.